I had a manly weekend. All I did was mess around with my computer, watch football, and then I played cards Friday night.
Oh, yeah? How was the card game?
So Gary shows up. And Gary, you left early.
Yeah, I heard.
Who do you think was the big winner of the night?
Well, Ralph, when I left, Ralph was way up. But Dominic had some weird thing. You guys were doing something weird. Like, that's not the usual card game. When I left, Dominic was dealing blackjack. And Dominic had the most gigantic stack of money in front of him.
Well, he was the house.
And he was the house.
So who do you think was the biggest winner of the night?
Ralph.
Me. Guess how much I won?
How much?
On the blackjack?
No. $850.
Well,
see, I never lose. Hey, let me tell you something.
Wait a second. Now, did you win because you won, or did you win because like they were playing blackjack and they were kidding around and Dominic's going,
no.
Stern odds, 10 to 1.
No, he didn't give me any special odds.
Didn't deal from the bottom of the jack.
In fact, I lost on blackjack.
And you still came away with $850?
Yep. Gary, you never would have guessed that, would you?
No.
That I was the winner of the night?
Were you losing most of the night?
No, you was about average.
I was actually, in the beginning, I was winning, and I was playing poker really good, and then, I don't know, and then, I don't know, everything just kind of got dull for me. You know, I didn't get any good hands or anything. I tried to bluff a few hands.
That didn't work.
That didn't work. And then I played some blackjack. I was kind of floating about even. Then I was down about $100, and then I just, I don't know, we played some weird games at the end.
I heard that you guys...
win?
Well, we played games like where you just everybody throws in a couple $100 and it's this giant pot and everyone deals 5 cards and whoever has the best hand wins, and I started winning like crazy.
You deal 5 cards up. You know, it's not even skill. It's just what you get.
Yeah. No, that's how you won. You didn't win through any skill.
He won?
Gary won some money, but not through any skill. It was one of these games where they deal cards up. But,
I won like $300, but then I ended up giving back Dominic about 150 of it playing blackjack.
Well, Gary was a pretty good card player.
Yeah.
I don't know why he was all paranoid.
I thought you guys were like really... I'm not saying that you guys are bad, but I thought you guys were like insane, like, you know, memorize cards and stuff. Yeah. It's a cool card game.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, man, it's just all it is tormenting Ralph is the whole game. Because the whole thing got to be like, you started kidding around and saying like Ralph's
You want to know something's weird? My brother-in-law is so unconscious. My wife says, well, how bad did Ralph get it this time? Because she knows that all we do is we goof on Ralph. And my brother-in-law goes, nobody said anything to Ralph. I go, boy, are you the least observant human being on the planet or what?
The whole deal.
The whole time they're calling Ralph a queen, and every time instead, like we play the game, you know, in poker you have jacks are better, and then it's queens are better. It would be Ralphs or better.
I got 2 Ralphs.
He's the queen.
Okay, 3 Ralphs bets. It was like the whole night.
Yeah, and Ralph just kept downing Courvoisier so that he could forget that he was the queen. Jägermeister.
Did you make him cry?
I think he started getting all upset in the beginning.
You know, it doesn't even faze me anymore.
No, you were crying in the beginning because you couldn't play with me.
You got to admit,
Were there 2 tables?
There were 2 tables.
I was just out of it. Everybody was like...
Did you get stoned before the game?
No, I was just tired, and it took me a little while to get into it. When I started winning, I got into it.
I leaned over to Howard at one point. I said, you know, it's pretty cool to be at one of these things and not be the brunt of the jokes and watch someone else get it.
Gary didn't get any teeth jokes.
Well, one tooth joke.
Yeah, what was that?
Neil
gave you one.
No, I won a really big hand, and Dominic yelled over from the other table, he's hiding aces in his teeth.
No, I heard the one where you didn't have any chips and you had a bet, and someone said, why don't you just put down a couple of teeth?
Yeah. And then it was all like, every time I lost, it's like, oh, Jackson can't go to college.
Yeah, it was a lot of like, Jackson and all this.
It was tame compared.
Yeah.
Ralph was a queen all night.
Ralph has to anesthetize himself so he can take the ribbing.
Wayne Siegel got it pretty bad.
I just sat there and took their money.
Wayne Siegel got it real bad.
Oh, terrible.
Yeah, real bad.
So who wound up being at the card game? I don't even know the line.
It was tons of guys.
Yeah?
It was me and Fafa Fooey showed up late. And I told everyone Jackie wouldn't come. Because everyone was saying, like, even with Fafa Fooey and Jackie, everyone was just saying, how can you, like, say, oh, I'm going to try to be there? Like either you're going to be there or you're not.
Sometimes you have relatives that might be coming to town and they might not. And they
but you can make a decision by, you can make a decision whether you're going to go or not. Not Jackie.
Free form it is.
Yeah, everything's free form.
People might just show up.
Right. So I even said to them, don't rely on Jackie for the game. Because if you're going to, invite guys who are going to come. And then Fafa Fooey didn't show up till about an hour later, which everyone was kind of shocked that he showed up.
Yeah, because he might have had his nephew. He couldn't tell either.
Actually, my nephew went to visit his friend that night, so I was open.
Yeah. So Fafa Fooey showed up. So it was me, Fafa Fooey, Ralph, Dominic. Dominic put out some spread. We had tons of food over at the Garden City Hotel. That place is great. They got great food there.
Yeah?
How about some desserts?
Yeah, all of a sudden, Dominic, we're just sitting there, and somebody goes, you know, I want dessert. Yeah, so Dominic goes, we need chocolate. So they send up like these chocolate things, and then it's not enough. Dominic goes, I know, ice cream. 2 minutes later, there's like 10 people with those giant trays, and they put them out in front of you, and it's like these.
It was an orgy.
It was like a food orgy.
Yeah, it was a food orgy.
Now you're making Jackie sorry he missed it.
He had like 5 different kinds of pastas, steaks, potatoes, shrimp, rice. All kinds of fruits.
A bowl of salad.
And, of course, open bar. Like
now, see, that's a card game. There's no sandwiches, no
No. Guys eating and farting and card playing.
Like, all of a sudden, Ralph decides, I need a shot of Jägermeister, but it's not at the bar. Boom, there's a girl up there. She's got it, like, on a tray, like Ralph's important. She puts it down in front of him.
Yeah, right, Jägermeister.
Now, do you guys smoke cigars and everything?
No, no
to get
smoking.
Into that real manly thing?
You know who's weird? Town Card Jack was there.
He's scary.
And he doesn't say a word the whole night, and then all of a sudden he disappeared. He never even said goodbye to anyone.
Oh, really?
You're kidding.
Yeah, he didn't say goodbye to anyone.
So you know who I thought was weird? That scared the hell out of me? Dominic's driver.
Oh, he's a good guy.
Is he?
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't talk to him. He just said a quick hello.
No, Tom. No one even knows his name.
Everyone's equal at this game.
Yeah. And then
so there was
Ronnie, the limo driver. Town Card Jack was there.
Neil,
who has a bad shoulder and is cannot deal his own cards now. And then he sits the whole time like this, and I have to deal the cards for him.
Yeah, I had to deal.
And then there was Wayne, and we basically goofed on Wayne because. Are we allowed to talk about that?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't even know.
you know, get in my ear.
Well, you know.
He's getting a sex change.
That's going?
Well, he hasn't been living at his house.
Right.
Yeah. So we every pot that he would win or spend money, we go, hey, 50 cents of that is not yours, and goof on him.
An open sore, we were pouring salt in it every moment.
Salt in the wound every minute.
All right.
And then,
but you know what's funny?
That was fun.
You know what's funny about Neil? Neil's sitting there with his arm up in the air because it hurts. So finally, it hurts so bad that Neil goes and lays on the couch sideways with his arm out like that, but he has to still play cards. Right. So Ralph would sit next to him, so Ralph would ante in for him, and like Ralph would yell to him what he had, and he would throw money in the pot.
Yeah. And then who else was there?
How can you play
Dan Foreman.
cards?
Oh, Dan Foreman was there.
But how can Neil play cards when everybody's going to know his hand if Ralph is yelling out what he's got?
Who knows? Doesn't matter.
He would get up like once in a while to look at it.
And then my 2 IBM friends, Jeff and Eddie, were there. Jeff Schick and Eddie. And I told you Ronnie was there. Yeah.
That guy Eddie's a good card player.
Yeah, real good.
Did he win a lot?
He won some.
Yeah. Well, who loses?
Dominic loses everything. Dominic's not satisfied till he loses.
You got to take that whole pile of money that he's got sitting in front of him.
And then if Dominic's winning, which I didn't see, then if Dominic's like, all right, we're going to Scores. We're going to Atlantic City. He's got to figure out ways to spend more money.
Yeah, I know. A lot of the guys were going to go to Scores afterwards, but I was beat.
Yeah.
No, if you went, everybody would have gone.
Yeah, right.
Ralph is disappointed in you, obviously.
Well, everyone starts screaming, let's go to Scores afterwards, and they wait to hear what I'm going to say. And then I just said, well, I'm kind of tired. I'm going home. And then it's like, oh.
Hey, guess not.
I guess we're not going to Schools then.
Right.
You know what I don't understand? Like, I thought that was a really fun game, but you were there or not, it still would have been fun. I don't understand why Dominic cancels it when you don't go.
I don't know. That's a whole thing.
Because it's not like...
You see, the game isn't fun for Dominic unless I'm there, because Dominic thinks the game is too low stakes.
Right.
Dominic wants to lose a lot of money. He gets upset because the game is just $1, $2.
Does he play poker at any other time with other people?
Oh, I'm sure he plays everything.
What he does.
Who knows what he does? His wife doesn't know what he does.
We figured out that what he never does is go home.
Right. I said, how is it you don't have to go home for the entire Thanksgiving weekend and you're married? He never goes home and he never works. You know what I mean?
Yet he has all this money.
Yeah.
Where is it coming from?
I don't know. It's a good deal, though, I'll tell you that.
Dominic always says he's up, but you know he loses.
Yeah, right. He goes, I'm up a couple of dollars. And he's got a big pile of money because he just keeps,
he's pulling it out of his pocket.
Right.
He piles it up.
See, he's a typical guy who hangs around casinos.
Right.
Those guys never lose, but the casino's still swimming with money.
Yeah.
Did you guys have to watch him like a hawk or anything?
Yeah, we did.
Or did you instruct him?
No, we made him.
cheat?
No, we made
him.
Yeah, he was good. We made him cut the deck. He wasn't allowed to shuffle the cards even.
You brought a new deck and all that.
Oh yeah.
I do have to say, Howard, that there were 2 tables. One was the one that Howard was at that had the higher stakes, and then there was sort of the scrubby table.
Same stakes.
No,
in fact, the other table had a higher stakes than me. Those guys went to $4 on the last hand. We never play that.
But it was it was $7 ante at your table, $2 ante at the other table.
That was the only difference because
that was ridiculous. If you have 7 guys playing, it's $1 for instead of anteing each time all of us, you just put up 7 when you deal.
But our table when we started playing, they didn't want to ante that much. They just put $2.
I know you were like I don't know what was that?
Your table was the more exciting table.
It was.
And then Dan figured out this thing where you had to switch every hour, and everybody took a card, and it was a different color. It was
Gary has a whole hard-on for Dan Foreman. I could tell Gary was bumming out because he wasn't playing with Dan Foreman.
I love Dan.
Yeah, but take it easy.
I don't need
you
to play
sounded like a girl. Am I going to get to play with Dan? Am I going? Dude, why don't you just pull down your pants and go in the men's room with him?
What's so great about Dan?
I don't know. Gary has a love affair with him.
He's a great guy.
He's a great guy.
I never get to see him, so I thought we could play.
So great that you have to play with him.
Instead, I had to sit next to your brother-in-law.
Yeah, so what? Gary wants
nobody like your brother-in-law.
No, he's a good guy.
Gary thinks Dan's going to give him a job when I fire him.
I think Howard's brother-in-law is actually a lot of fun. He really is. We talk sports.
Yeah, he's a great guy. But what is it?
Dominic's on the phone.
Oh.
Howard, can I just ask one question? I want to ask Dominic one question. Forgetting the card game, I'd like to know what the tab was from that night. I'm curious.
He's not going to talk about that.
Good morning.
Good morning. Do you want to you want to answer Gary's question?
What's the question?
About what the tab was for the night?
Sure, 4 queens.
What do you want?
I heard no comment on how thin I looked.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He loses weight, but he's still like an obese guy.
He's like Oprah. He'll gain it back.
Yeah, but he's less obese, and he's the softest human being I've ever seen. Like, there's not a muscle on him.
And Howard, admit it, when he ordered that ice cream, even though he didn't need any, it was almost like
watching a guy torture himself.
But he enjoyed watching us eat it. It was like the next best thing.
Dominic has this weird move around food. Hello?
He doesn't even want to talk to you about it.
He must be on his car phone.
Hello?
His belly accidentally hung up the phone.
Yeah. Dominic has this weird move around food. So Dominic puts out this whole big buffet, right? And he's like every fat guy in America. He doesn't want to be seen eating. So we're all, gorging on this food. And eating and eating and eating. Dominic's just moving around, making sure everyone's
He doesn't even have a bite.
Doesn't have a bite. He's like, I'll eat later. It's like, we're all, just walking around, and he's, and he's talking. I go, Dominic, eat something. Stop with the charade. You know you're hungry. Look at all this beautiful food.
And look at you. You know you eat.
I'm gonna eat. You there? Hello?
Yeah, I got cut off.
I'm talking about your eating habits.
I'm jogging while we talk.
Yeah. And so he walks around and everything, and he still has his pants from when he was fat. You know what I mean? And
so
it's
he's showing you how much room there is?
Yeah, right. So so he walks around and his pants are always falling down. So he lost a fat Fred Flintstone.
A thin Fred Flintstone.
Yeah. And they look like clown pants because they're so big. He should just wear big shoes, then he'd be a clown.
Big red wig.
And every time he turns around, Neil cracks up and everyone starts laughing because Dominic's pants look so funny on him.
See, that's what I like. Encouragement. You've lost a lot. You're going to lose more.
So he loses. So then I'm watching him, right? So then we're sitting and playing, and at one point during the game, when he thinks everyone's preoccupied, then he runs over to the buffet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, and the first thing he does is he loads on his plate the rice and the shrimp and the this and the that. And I see, eats that, chows it down. You figure, okay, normal guy on a diet, that he'd be. First of all, it's fattening food, but he'd be done. No. Then a couple of minutes later, you see him. He goes over. He takes a small little plate, not a dinner plate, small plate, loads it up with the macaronis, covered with nice cheese all over, right? And he's sitting down, he's eating that. I'm watching him. And he's... And he eats that, but very demure, eating slow, almost not interested in it, but little plates. So it doesn't look... Yeah, he's having a little piece at a time.
You get the impression if we weren't there, he wouldn't even be using silverware.
Right. And then you watch him swell into his pants as they start to expand. And then he gets a little of this and a little of that and a little of that. And so he must have had about 7 trips to the buffet.
Oh, yeah?
But all little trips, But meanwhile, you add it all up. It was like what a cow eats.
And of course, you kept saying, eat a little more, Dominic. Don't worry.
Well, it's absurd to...
And you're laughing inside.
Yeah, but it's you know what's funny about you? It's absurd to sit and try and disguise it. You're a fat man, and everyone knows you're eating.
See that?
So eat the food. Go up with us and eat with a joy and a verve.
Some ice cream.
Do you understand? And then of course, the ice cream comes, and now Dominic's going to show me he's on a diet. He's doing this for my benefit. He wanted the ice cream. So he goes over, he gets an orange. right? And he's peeling the orange, and he's eating this. You want to vomit from him eating because you know he's gagging on it.
This is the first orange he's ever eaten.
And he sucks it down, and he's looking at them eating the ice cream. You see he's getting dizzy.
He's chewing on his
And I go, Dominic, how's that orange? He goes,
It's the worst piece of fruit I ever ate. There's no ice cream in that.
And you know what? It's not just, Robert, it's not just a dish of ice cream. It's a big thing of ice cream covered in candied chocolate with whipped cream on top in a raspberry sauce. I mean, this is like a real
raspberry in the center.
I mean, the Garden City Hotel has beautiful food.
Charlie Hammond did some job for us.
Yes, he did. Yeah, he's a good man.
Good job.
Did the right thing. Old Charlie. Old Charlie gets you through.
Saint
Did
Charlie.
you notice where I threw the orange out?
Saint Charlie. Saint Charlie. I'll let the candle to him.
So the rumor is, Howard, that you know that guy Don Leah that plays with us?
Yeah.
He cleaned Dominic out. That's what they're saying.
Oh, yeah. Well, everyone cleaned him out.
I won.
No. He didn't clean Dominic. No, you weren't there. You weren't at the end of the game.
Wayne Siegel just called.
No. Here's the point.
I came out of a blackjack game winning a lot of money.
I was sitting right.
And then who took all the money from you?
You.
Right.
I was sitting next to
But that's the
Don.
way
He
it's supposed
cleaned
to be.
Dominic out. You had to win close to $1,000.
Wouldn't that?
No. You don't know any. What do you got to mention an amount? What's the difference what the guy lost or won?
Well,
you don't
I
do that
wouldn't
to
count his
somebody.
money.
You don't do that to somebody, you big queen.
Oh, and by the way,
I don't even know what he did. What did he do that was so bad?
Just now?
Uh-huh.
He's mentioning amounts that Dominic might have lost. It's not a manly thing to do. You don't talk about what a guy loses. You just say, if you win, you win. It's a gentlemanly thing.
how come at the end of the game when we're playing blackjack, you keep finding chips on the floor, Ralph? Every 2 minutes you come up with $4, $11.
What do you mean?
You got to understand how annoying Ralph is at a card game. Everybody hates Ralph. You got to understand something.
Especially when I'm winning.
We're all playing cards, right? And Ralph is betting like $3 or $13.
I was getting rid of the chips.
He's getting rid of his chips. And no one can break. You know, so when he wins, nobody has like $13 to hand him. And you know what I mean? It's just like, so skip the $3 bet. So rack it up that you made a $3 loss, Ralph, and just bet the $10 or bet 15. Bet in increments of 5. He's the only one sitting and counting his dollar chips.
$11 bet.
Yeah, $11 bet.
Hey, $1's a dollar.
Did you find the garbage in your bag, Ralph?
No, what garbage?
Uh-oh, Dominic's up to
Garbage that I stuck in your pants?
Did you load garbage into his bag?
Yeah, of course.
Ralph brings
He
a
put an orange peel there.
Ralph brings a bag with him, like, one of his knapsacks.
Yeah.
Nampy thing.
His purse. Ralph brings a purse with him, and he packs it full of plastic bags so he can take all the food home with him.
I didn't do that.
All right, so he has. I thought you had. I said you had plastic bags. Admit you brought plastic bags. Okay, all right. Okay,
Wait a second.
I was joking. I said I was
You
gonna.
told me on Wednesday you were going to bring
Yeah,
it.
you joked.
And then I said, Ralph, why don't you bring Tupperware?
So
Good idea.
So Ralph brings these little bags and stuff in there. So when Dominic eats, he throws his garbage in Ralph's bag.
And then Ralph orders all these special drinks, and the waitress comes like she's going into Garden City to get it, and he gives her a plastic chip for a tip.
Oh, no.
Ralph,
You are Atlantic City.
This young waitress is working hard, and she comes up to the room with Ralph's special liquor, and Ralph doesn't even tip her.
Who asked her to come?
He waits for Dominic to tip. Who asked her to come?
Dominic stole all my money last time, so he can pay her.
So how come you didn't miss the Jet game? I thought you had a christening.
I did.
Did you miss the game?
Well, we left at 2:15.
You left it. No.
I left the game at 2:15.
Yeah.
Right. So the christening started at 2:30. And I was home by 3.
Oh, no kidding.
A short ceremony.
That's it.
That's it.
And you don't have to hang out with your family afterwards?
No
Well,
reception?
I said, hey, go eat the hero. I'll be watching the Jet game.
And so what time did you get back to the Jet game?
3 o'clock.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, I missed maybe 40
Doesn't the
minutes.
christening take place at a church?
Church is half a mile away.
Oh.
I would have liked to hear the priest when he's saying in Latin all the expressions, and he usually says an Italian name. He had to say Jackson.
Jackson Bellavate. So listen to this. So Gary.
Jackson's christening.
So Gary made a faux pas at the christening.
Uh-oh.
But I side with Gary on this one. So Gary goes to the christening, and Gary's been at christenings before, but he never had a kid before. So he goes there, and the priest was like hanging around afterwards, hanging around, and Gary doesn't know what the hell's going on. So his father-in-law says to him afterwards, "What'd you give the priest?" Gary goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Did you tip the priest?" And Gary goes, "No, I didn't tip the priest. I didn't know to tip the priest."
It's not a tip, by the way. It's an honorarium or a donation.
I am not Catholic, and I know you have to do that.
Well, anyway, America is the only country, and this is true for people who've traveled the world. I've heard this. America is the only country that gets into this incessant tipping, to the point where you go to a religious service and you don't know whether who you're supposed to give money to.
It's mandatory.
I know wherever I walk, I'm just throwing people money because because you don't want to be considered cheap.
Right.
Now, I'm sure the guy must have thought you were a real skivosa for not giving him any money.
So I'm sending my wife over to the rectory today. She's going to give him a thank you card. But, same thing happened at our wedding.
Yeah.
You didn't know to do that?
No, I did know, but at a wedding you have to and it's not cheap either. I think at a wedding you're supposed to give like $100.
How much do you tip a priest?
I gave him 50.
At the wedding?
No, 100 at the wedding, 50 for the Christmas.
Yeah, but I tipped the priest at the wedding also.
Get out of here.
I go to a wake, I give the corpse $10.
Yeah, I guess you even have to pay for a funeral, huh?
You're not
The
kidding.
best man supposed to tip the...
Yeah, he did. Right, he did. But there's no best man at a christening. In other words, we made sure the priest was taken care of at the wedding.
Yeah, but who knew at the christening you're supposed to... it's kind of tacky to walk up to a religious man and start giving him a tip.
I don't know why they don't just charge you.
Exactly.
They should. Don't they? Because I know, everyone...
And what do? You just slide a 50 into the priest's hand?
You say, hey, thank you very much, and you hand him money. Because I know... I read in Ann Landers, I swear to God, I read in Ann Landers that priests don't make a lot of money.
Of course not.
And
They're married to God.
That you shouldn't be insulted to give them money.
Right.
But the point is,
it feels weird.
They take a vow of poverty.
So the guy was hanging around like a bellhop in a
How do you gauge how much you give him? Like, if he makes it shorter, do you give him more money? If
Jackie,
he gets laughs?
who even knows? I know I tip. I way over. When someone tells me I got to tip somebody, my kids have a birthday party, I'm tipping hundreds to people.
You know what? I asked my father-in-law because at his church he's like the guy with the collection plate, so he said 50 was good.
Yeah.
You're more than generous.
Yeah, I know.
You too.
Well, you gotta be.
If somebody tells you...
If you're on the radio, everyone thinks, "Oh man, he should be tipping me."
He's Mr. Bucks over there.
Yeah, right.
Look at what he gave me.
I'll tell you, if you want to tip a priest, you put the money in your zipper. A priest will find it.
No.
Not your priest, not your priest, but other priests.
You know what the biggest dilemma for me is? What do you do when you get full service at a gas station? Do you tip them?
What?
Oh,
at a gas
you
station.
tip at a gas station?
But I feel weird when a guy does my window.
Hold it a second.
I do too.
Hold it a second. I have never heard this before.
As soon as I swear to God, as soon as they do your oil, if they check your oil, I always tip them.
You're kidding
Guy
me.
does my windows. He washes my windows.
Ridiculous.
Hold it a second. Stop everything. Now I've heard everything.
I really do.
I have yet to hear of this.
You're kidding.
Yes, because if a guy washes your windows, you feel
I
obligated.
thought that was part of the service.
I never had anybody wash.
It is, but they make it.
Excuse me, don't they charge you more for full service?
Much
Yeah, some do and some don't. Some are only.
Now I'm thinking, how many guys at my gas station must think I'm a cheap bastard?
I give the guy a buck
It's
for
not
washing my window.
The guy who washes your window doesn't get that money.
Hold it a second. Let's stop.
I give a trip to Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, seriously, Dominic, have you ever heard of tipping the guy at the gas station for washing your window?
Always.
You're
No,
serious?
Dominic, come on.
I give a buck. I really do.
I swear to you, I've never heard that.
If I fill up and it's $18,
I
the guy
wish
washes
you'd
my
never told me that.
And if he
Don't
wants,
start doing that.
and if the guy wants to play poker, I lose immediately.
What happened to the days when you used to go to gas stations, they give you free cups and stuff?
Because that doesn't happen anymore. You know what's really weird? The guy at the gas station that I go to, usually it's like somebody who's foreign and doesn't speak English and is young. The guy is like my dad's age, and he's like, it's like my dad, so I feel bad. He's like, a working guy.
Yeah, but he gets paid. Why?
Yeah, but obviously not a lot.
Let me tell you something. This is the only country in the world that has gone tip crazy.
Yeah.
This is tip
I've
madness.
never heard of tipping at a gas station.
I refuse to get into that. I'm going there to buy gas. I'm not asking the guy to wash my windshield. I thought they were doing that to attract you as a customer.
You want to talk about tip crazy? Ask Robin. I lived in New York in like a nice high-rise building. Ask her what it cost at Christmas time. They said you had a list.
Think about that.
However, the list that I got last year is 27 people I'd never seen.
Right.
I'm writing checks to because
Did they tell you what to give?
No.
No.
Oh my God.
You ask other people.
What does the list say?
The list is it's the handymen, the guys who throw out the garbage, security on the other side of the building, the doormen, the building manager,
It's insane.
the building manager's assistant.
But how do they work?
Why do we end up with the only jobs where we can't make tips?
Nobody tips us.
Tom should start tipping me for a good show.
Robert, didn't your old building, wasn't it that you could give a flat fee and then they printed it?
In one building I lived in, they gave you every year they say, all right, what we have decided, they'd have a pool, so you didn't have to tip individually. And they'd say, all right, the minimum is this. And then they would write down what everybody gave.
Let me tell you how people ruin it.
Would know.
Let me tell you how people ruin it. That's a great system. It should be one amount, everyone gives. If they agree they want to tip, and then let the help divide it up.
Right.
This is how it gets ruined. You get a guy like Dominic in your building, and he goes, yeah, I get into that. Here's an extra 25 because you did a good job.
Right.
And once you do that, it's over with. It's like you go to a restaurant, and they say, here's the tip. It's included so you don't have to deal with it. When I go on vacation, I go to a place where there's no tipping allowed. And the reason there's no tipping allowed is you pay an exorbitant amount of money for the vacation. They say, now you don't have to carry any money with you. Everything is taken care of. Everyone's taken care of. You still see the guy from Texas come down, and he's throwing the money around and makes you look like a cheap bastard. So then you got to get into it. It's unbelievable. People ruin it. Americans are out of their minds.
I ask one. Do you tip the casino guy when they look?
Yeah, I do. And you want to know something? The last time I went, I didn't because I was losing, and I said, wait a second. This is absurd. The whole notion of gambling is that you go there, and as soon as you make,
which guy? It's not
the dealer.
Yeah, the dealer.
John's asking about the dealer. Dealer gives you a good hand, and you win blackjack. Well, then you lose 5 hands in a row, and you suck.
He doesn't give you anything.
No rebate.
Howard, yeah, I mean, it's gambling.
I swear to God, no kidding around, because they were making fun of the table the other night. I tipped Eddie, the guy from IBM. When he gave me those 2 good hands.
You're kidding.
No, I gave him a $5 chip.
Wait a second, Gary. Let me get this straight.
That was a good. I did that as a good.
Let me get this straight.
Eddie did that as a
You're saying at our card game you tipped another guy you're playing against?
Because what happened was...
But you didn't tip the priest.
What happened was somebody at the other table goes, hey, that was a good hand. Give me some money. So somebody threw him some money. So Eddie gave me 2 hands in a row that were probably about $150 a piece.
Yeah.
And when I took in the second hand, I go, hey, thanks for taking the game. I threw him a $5 chip.
Are you insane? And when Eddie cleans you out on the next hand,
I don't know. I didn't know what went on, and I didn't want to come in here and say, Gary's such a jerk. You won $150. You didn't give Eddie anything.
Eddie owes you 5.
But you know, he makes a good point. When you're tipping the blackjack dealer in Atlantic City, they're not doing anything but dealing cards either.
Of course, listen. When you're playing in cards in blackjack, the thing is, the odds. Supposedly, the odds are with you a little bit, but they clean you out every time. If you're going to go in there and be a gambler, you've got to go in with the attitude that like every dollar counts because you're going to try and beat the house. That's another dollar that you could have bet against the house, bet into them when you could win.
Why are you giving it away?
It's absurd. But you know,
they're not doing anything special for you.
Well, I know when I go to Atlantic City, every dealer's looking at me like, hey, man, when are you going to start tipping us? But Dominic takes care of him. Dominic gives him like $100.
You feel greedy if you win 3 hands and you don't give him anything. Like you know what I'm saying?
I know. Yeah, you feel like, hey, you're being greedy or something. But that takes away all your advantage. The only advantage you have in blackjack is if you can make a couple of bucks from the house and then bet into the house with their money.
Yeah, but Howard, you know what? For us, it really is a little bit like, I know for John and I, our worst nightmare is some guy calls in on the phone and says, hey, Gary was in the restaurant the other night. That cheap bastard.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you know this. Once I went to a restaurant and the tip was included, like 50% tip, whatever. Was it all included?
15%.
Yeah. So after that, so I think it was all included and everything. I came in and the restaurant was faxed saying how cheap it was because I didn't tip on top of the 15%.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, you got no money. Me, I go to a restaurant, I leave like 80%.
Yeah, I've been out with you. You get nuts.
Yeah, but I got to because people talk about me.
We went somewhere once, and you actually tipped what the amount was.
Yeah, because it was a small check. I just said, well, you know. I was at the Garden City Hotel on Saturday. I had a meeting Saturday morning. A guy brought over a cup of coffee for David Kirkpatrick, and I had a cup of hot water.
Okay, wait a second. That's at worst case scenario. That's $3.50.
Okay. I left him 20. Okay? So what am I going to do?
You're that guy.
Because they're not even doing anything. At that point, they're bringing you water.
Have to do it.
You're the guy ruining it for us.
I know. Well, what am I supposed to do, though? I'm high profile.
Billy West was just telling me that he tips when he goes to a hotel for one night. He leaves money for the chambermaid.
I always do.
Of course you do.
One night?
I do that. I feel real bad for them.
I think it's a minimum. If you stay in an average hotel, I think it's $3 or $4 a night.
They're the easiest to stiff, and they're the ones doing. I mean, they're cleaning off the pee off the toilet seat when you miss.
Plus, those are the people you got to trust too.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't matter. You're not going to see him again, but you really shouldn't.
You could leave, and certainly they wouldn't know the difference. But I always leave them a little.
I never did.
You have to.
You don't?
No, I didn't know.
Why would you say for one night it doesn't make a difference? They're still cleaning.
No, but I don't know. I told me for a week you leave, like a couple bucks. But
how much do you leave after a week?
$10, $20.
Oh man!
But I never knew about the hotel one. You know.
And look at Ralph. He's never left anything for anybody.
Don't you remember when we first used to go out to California, and Fred used to stiff the chambermaid all the time, and he'd say, Fred, and I remember you said to Fred, Fred, what's the matter with you? And he goes, hey, I'm never going to see those people again.
Great guy.
You, Fred.
And Fred was like a rube, coming out of the hillbilly woods. He didn't know from tipping.
He didn't even know from staying in the hotel.
Yeah.
Let the hotel pay him.
Fred was like, Howard, this is my first time on an airplane. Okay, Fred, good
Hold
boy.
my hand.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do? Tip the pilot, too?
Yeah. We told Fred to go tip the pilot.
He likes it, though.
All right, Dominic, you had your rush. You're on the air.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Better than food.
No, it's not.
I was on the air, but they didn't pay much attention to me. Right, I could really have 6 words in there. Let me go find the pizza place that's open at 6 o'clock in the morning.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back right after these. Jackie New Rave Joke Page Martling. Look at him. That career is on fire. To order Jackie's Wild Comedy CD or cassette. I understand it's selling very well in Europe.
Yeah? He's a big hit over there.
Him and David Hasselhoff. It's $10 plus $3 shipping and handling. Holiday special. Buy 2, get 1 free. In France, he's a genius.
Jackie.
That's right. Call 1-800-323-KING, K-I-N-G. And this Friday, December 2nd, at Memories Restaurant and Shark Bar in Fort Lee, New Jersey. Oh, boy. Hasn't gotten any better, has it?
Oh, yeah.
Tim Allen's in the Santa Claus, #1 at the box office, and Jackie's at the Memories Restaurant and Shark Bar in Fort Lee, New Jersey. For info and raunchy jokes, call 516-922-WINE. Remember, 516-922-WINE is not a pay service. What's next? Al's Grill?
He's cooking, actually, at Al's Grill.
What are you doing at the restaurant? At the Shark Bar? Will you actually be performing, or will you be cooking?
It's much worse than you could ever imagine.
What is it?
I'm
is there
working
a stage?
upstairs at the, I guess what would be Memories Restaurant, and after my performance, Nancy Sirianni, Martling's band, the All Folked Up, will be performing downstairs.
So your wife will be downstairs performing in the lounge?
Yeah, the guy's trying to capitalize. He was trying to get the Fred Norris band, too. This guy was
really
going for the whole gamut.
You didn't want to play there, Fred?
No, I did. I guess I wanted too much money.
Jackie right in there, though.
I jumped in.
You tell me Fred gets a higher fee than you?
I'm not sure. No, I think the guy booked me, and then
I see. Try to get Fred.
He had already gotten all the money.
Jackie, as usual, had sucked all the money out of the budget.
Because when I said it was like a certain amount, he said, what?
All right.
Hello?
And what about your mother? She'll be parking cars as usual there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
She's direct.
What happened?
You had the Volvo, right?
Did Jackie throw in All Folked Up for free, or what?
I think that was
No, they
thrown in.
cut their own deal.
Cut their own deal. $50. $50. And they ride with Jackie.
So Jackie lures them in upstairs, and then they can't get out without hearing All Folked Up.
All folked up. All right, very good. Who cares? All right. Let's take some phone calls. We just had a huge argument in here again about tipping at a gas station. Tom Chiusano came in and said he has never, ever heard of tipping at a gas station. And I said, I've never heard of it. That's a new one on me. Really new. And then, how do you like this when you go into Stuttering John said you go into a Dunkin' Donuts now, and you just get a cup of coffee. You know, hot cup of coffee to go. And there's a little, jar that says, tipping allowed here.
Right. That's what some people have gone to, the jar.
Yeah.
You see
the
that on the
obnoxious
counters
jar.
of takeout places.
They've always been in 7-Elevens and stuff. There's always little jars. Tipping is not a state in China and all these little jokes.
Yeah, but if you go to 7-Eleven, I mean, that's obviously to avoid that.
Yeah.
And it's always sitting there next to one of those collections for handicapped kids. It's like taking a choice.
Yeah, right. Handicap or me?
Yeah.
They have them at juice bars even. You go to get some carrot juice.
Really?
Yeah, and the guy has a little cup.
Oh, that's obscene.
On the table, on the counter that says, tips.
You can't go anywhere. Like, if a guy's doing his job, just getting some juice out of a carrot. You gotta give him a tip.
Yeah.
Oh, tipping is out of control.
Isn't it weird?
It really is. Come on, people don't know what to do. It's just like Gary said to me, he had a delivery, a truck delivery. Guy shows up, they were delivering a refrigerator.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's always a tough call, too.
Yeah, I always end up giving each guy like $20.
Yeah, is it a percentage of what the refrigerator costs?
Yeah, I know, but Gary said he left $20 extra for the delivery with his wife.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you think I did the right thing? Because you go out of your mind trying to figure it out. I go, yeah, well, that sounds right. I mean, I tip like a nut, so...
You should.
I guess you should, but...
I always tip the guys that know where you live.
Yeah, but they don't do that anywhere else in the world.
Yeah, if it's a delivery, it's a delivery. He gets paid to deliver.
It's part of the... But, I don't know, we're tipping mad. I tell you, I go on a vacation where a place... The purpose you pay so much money is because every tip is included. You don't have to deal with your money at all.
I prefer to go to a place where you pay a lot of money and you still have to tip.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is, I pay all this money, and I love that you go to this island and you don't have to tip, you don't have to worry about it, and then you see some big fat Texan running around tipping everybody.
But I resent
and ruining it
here at home, where you can't get a decent table in a restaurant because everybody's always giving money to the maitre d'.
Yeah.
Everybody's always paying off ushers. It's ridiculous.